Ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting. And what McConnell and Republicans should do is immediately dismiss, without a trial, the impeachment nonsense. They should just dismiss the articles of impeachment before anything. Let Democrats complain. Let media complain. Nobody's going to care. Nobody knows why Trump is impeached. He never committed a crime. The articles of impeachment do not list a crime. That is a fact. They do not have direct evidence. According to 538, the Associated Press, and anyone watching, they do not have direct evidence that Trump actually engaged in the allegations leveled against him. So they should dismiss. They likely won't dismiss, but draft of McConnell's rules for trial still allows motion to dismiss. Jonathan Swan, Axios. This is several hours back. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is preparing a resolution that would leave room for President Trump's lawyers to move immediately to dismiss the impeachment charges if they so choose, according to Republican Senator Josh Hawley. And then the article goes on, yes, but Republican leaders, including McConnell and Roy Blunt, have stated they aren't interested, even though Mitch McConnell is actually leaving that to be an option. And it seems unlikely that Trump's team would push for what would almost certainly be a losing vote, a move that could be seen as a sign of weakness at the outset of the trial. No, if it's a losing vote, then the people who voted to have the trial will be forever remembered, because they're going to acquit President Trump. So even if, let's put it this way, they're not going to get 67 votes needed to remove President Trump from office. If I was Mitch McConnell, I would totally go ahead or if I was, Trump's legal team, Ken Starr, Jay Sekulow, Dershowitz, everyone. If I was Trump's legal team, I would simply demand a motion to dismiss. Dismiss the articles, dismiss the impeachment. There's no direct evidence of anything. He hasn't been accused of a crime. This is all based on the neuroses and the eccentricities of Democrats. Oh my God, you tried to investigate Biden. Well, Biden deserved to be investigated, and his son. They're both corrupt, or potentially corrupt, or possibly corrupt. They didn't have a Steele dossier linked to Biden's corruption. No, this was actually a fact. His son received close to $3.4 million from a Ukrainian energy company being investigated right now for corruption. This is not nepotism. It has nothing to do with nepotism. I don't care that Biden hooked up his son. I don't care that the Biden name helped Hunter get $80,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $3.4 million. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. The issue is not nepotism. The issue is if he was on the board of directors of an energy company in Ukraine. He doesn't speak Ukrainian. He doesn't speak Russian. Possibly they wanted him to be on the board of directors so Vice President Biden could fire a prosecutor, which is what he did, that was looking into corruption of the company. Now, Rudy Giuliani has stated he has a sworn affidavit from Shokin, the guy who was fired, stating that Biden forced his ouster because of corrupt motive. That alone, according to Democrats who utilized the Steele dossier with Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, all these people, on the thinnest of suspicions, they went after Trump. With Biden, there's actually reason to be suspicious. And instead of actually looking into potential corruption, Democrats are like, oh my God, how dare you? But here, behind the scenes, quote, I am familiar with the resolution as it stood a day or two ago. Hawley, the junior senator from Missouri, told Axios in a phone interview on Saturday, my understanding is that the resolution will give the president's team the option to either move to judgment or to move to dismiss at a meaningful time. So they should move to dismiss in the Senate immediately after the House managers make their accusations and their case. There's no evidence that Trump withheld military assistance because he's afraid of the No Malarkey bus tour. Clinton is going to be nominee. Clinton knows very well that they're petrified of her. The worst nightmare. You could actually watch, The Exorcist on continual loop at a haunted house at 2 and 3 in the morning for 5 days straight, and it still wouldn't be as frightening and as horrifying as Madam Secretary running for president to Democrats. Notice how I'm like 4 years ahead of everybody. I was saying that Clinton is a criminal who couldn't win. Now everyone is saying, well, if they're not saying she's a criminal, they're saying she can't win. I was saying that. Eventually, once Madam Secretary loses to Trump again, they'll say, oh my God, this person committed crimes. Yeah, you know what? You probably should have looked at what was going on before 2016. You might have had somebody who could have won, but you know what? Thank God Trump won. Oh, and they're cheating Bernie Sanders again. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. So then you have like abuse of power. Part of the articles of impeachment is abuse of power. That's a subjective thing. So Dershowitz claims abuse of power is not an impeachable offense. Schiff dismisses absurd position that there were examples of President Obama that you could say, well, you know what? He had no right to do that. How about the NATO intervention? Who cares if NATO was on board? There was no reason to remove a dictator or an authoritarian despot, whatever, and then leave the country to turmoil, mayhem, chaos for 10 years. There was no reason to engage in regime change, even if other countries agreed. That's worse than anything Trump has ever done, including a phone conversation where even President Zelensky stated there was no quid pro quo, no pressure. But here, Hawley added that the most recent draft of the organizing resolution he saw, there was an option for the President's counsel to make a motion in multiple places, including at the beginning of proceedings. They don't have to do it at the beginning. I would do it at the beginning. I would continue to do it because they have nothing. They already made their case. Their case is a weak, hilarious case. You have a bunch of disgruntled diplomats. Okay, nobody cares what these diplomats think. Nobody. Not even people in D.C. Nobody cares. If you're a diplomat, oftentimes you couldn't make it as a politician. So sometimes there are coaches who just can't make it as players, but they love the game, so they become coaches. Great. So you're a diplomat, you couldn't make it as a politician, but you want to be a diplomat. But you serve at the pleasure of politicians, like the president. So you have these diplomats complaining about Trump, and it's like, nobody cares. That's their opinion. They have no direct evidence. Everything is circumstantial evidence based on the sentiments and the sensibilities of Democrats. Well, obviously, he's going after Biden. How do we know? Because Biden is number one in the Democratic polls. Well, so what? So what? So what if he's number one in the Democratic polls? So what? That doesn't mean that he's actually viable. Just because you're number one in front of 20 other unelectable candidates, Bernie Sanders included, because they're cheating him left and right. Check out my last segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel, doesn't mean that you're Trump's direct political rival. Just because everyone in liberal media or mainstream media is talking about Biden as number one doesn't mean that he's not really number one. They have no intention of going with Biden. It's a political machine based on deceit and graft. They can't make money off Biden. Who's wearing a No Malarkey bus tour shirt? I'm the only person on planet Earth who's, check out a couple segments ago, or 6, 7, 8 segments ago, I was wearing a No Malarkey shirt. Or maybe 10, 15 segments, whatever. Nobody knows what the No Malarkey bus tour is up to now. Biden can't fill a room. If he went to the local library, he could barely fill that library. He certainly isn't filling a stadium. Maybe a stadium of 20 people. But, a Republican leadership aide responded, the White House has the right to make the motion under the regular order including a motion to dismiss right after the resolution is adopted, because a motion to dismiss is a motion permitted by the impeachment rules. So Hawley added that if the final resolution does not allow Trump's lawyers the option to dismiss or judgment at a meaningful point in the trial, or dismiss at a meaningful point in the trial, he would be very, very surprised and might not vote for the organizing resolution. Look. Right now, there's no sentiment. Right now, McConnell has explained there's no sentiment. They're not going to dismiss immediately. But if House managers come up with a ridiculous, nonsensical, irrational, bogus farce of a case against Trump, if they say he's a danger to national security, all of this, he withheld military assistance because he's afraid of the no malarkey bus tour. That's why Clinton is like completely under the radar. When people say, "Oh, she hasn't said anything, she's not running," oh, she's running. Believe me, she's running. Just like I said, she would lose in 2016. She's running. She'll run to the DNC convention the day of and still become nominee. It's a political machine. They do not have a front runner. Their front runner is Clinton. Hillary Clinton is the front runner of the Democratic Party. It's a political machine. She's the only person who could possibly defeat Trump. Look, Clinton can possibly defeat Trump. It's true. I usually never talk about that because it's not going to happen. But there's a possibility Clinton could defeat Trump. There's zero possibility Biden can defeat Trump. Okay, the only two candidates in the Democratic side with passionate supporters are Bernie Sanders and, ironically, Hillary Clinton. Or miraculously, or amusingly, Hillary Clinton. The I'm with her crowd is passionate, just as passionate as Bernie Sanders supporters, but the difference is the I'm with her crowd is malicious and petulant, and they run the show, and they demand obedience and allegiance. Clinton supporters demand obedience and allegiance, 100% allegiance. Bernie Sanders supporters are very passionate, very, very passionate, but their will can be broken. Not many Bernie or bust people. Okay, if you're Bernie or bust, God bless you. Even 2020, God bless you. Stay Bernie or bust. But most Bernie Sanders supporters are like, I love Bernie. Really? You love Bernie? Oh, that's good. What if Clinton's the nominee? Oh, God, I can't have Trump, the orange menace. We can't have record low unemployment. I mean, my God. My God, who wants that? So, there are people like Susan Collins who would vote against the resolution to dismiss, but all they need is 51 votes. So if 3 people vote against dismissal, their names will be remembered forever. If I'm Trump's legal team, I vote maybe not initially to dismiss, but after the House managers make their weak case, dismiss. And remember the people, whether it's Mitt Romney or Collins or Markowski or whoever. Remember the people who didn't want to dismiss. Remember the people who voted to acquit eventually, but wanted to go ahead with this show trial, just to paint Trump as this bad person. You're not going to get the votes anyway. You might as well dismiss and stop wasting time. Okay, all of this also is meant to harm Bernie Sanders. And you see articles like, without evidence, Republicans say that Democrats are trying to hurt Bernie Sanders. Without evidence, yeah, I know. The DNC emails that Russia allegedly hacked because they were so afraid. They wanted 80% of U.S. uranium capacity, not just 20%. They were so afraid of Democrats. Oh, my God. Yeah, so they cheated Bernie. DNC emails showed us that. But now they're not treating Bernie Sanders with Elizabeth Warren making things up with the impeachment so Bernie doesn't win Iowa, all this stuff. Give me your thoughts below. It's interesting how the media and the average person really believes that the Democratic Party is a normal political party that wants to win. Democrats don't care about winning. They care about winning their way. If they don't win their way, they will lose their way. If they don't win with Clinton, they don't mind losing. That's it. That's it. That's the political machine, and it won't change until Trump wins again. Give me your thoughts below. There's a motion. There's the ability to dismiss even before the Senate trial, according to Josh Hawley, an Axios article. Give me your thoughts. Check out H.A. Goodman's other